sir.
Hello. Okay. All right. Who else is there? Shriram. Okay. Okay. How many of you are there? I think people are already there. All right. We have some new members also joining. So I think we'll have a round of introductions today. Ahan, क्या हो गया? Headache. Who is giving you a headache? Anyone in the class is giving you headache? Do they keep?
No, sir.
I'm just kidding. Your voice has also become very hoarse. What has happened? You got a cold or something?
Sir, I'm tired, sir.
Huh? Diet?
Tired.
Tired. Okay. All right. What, you did some workout or something, or what? Or you played something? Okay. 11 plus 1. So 12 of you are there. So I think it is good. I think we'll start because first we have to get introduced. So excellent. Welcome everyone to the level 3 chess class. We are going to have a lot of fun, and it is definitely at the same time it is very, very serious. So level 1 and level 1 was mostly fun, kidding around, just getting to know. Level 2 became a little bit more thing, but level 3 is really serious. Okay, so you have to do a lot of, you have to be fully committed yourself. You need to do a lot of self work. Okay, and we are going to have, unlike level 2 when we used to have 2 sessions every week, now in level 3 we are going to have only 1 session and every Sunday at this time. Okay, but that does not mean there is less coaching. There are some handouts that I will be sharing that you need to study, plus I will be asking you to watch some instructional chess videos on YouTube. So all of that will add to that, and that way, but you can, the time it is flexible, so you can do it anytime during the week, most of the stuff except this Sunday class, which is face to face, right? So that is how it is going to be. But yeah, you will have to do diligent homework, just as you go into school and you go from first to fourth standard, and then you go into fifth. When you go to high school, then it is like there are more subjects, more study to be done. Similarly in chess also, right? It is more and more work to do as you climb the higher levels. But having said that, all of you have reached completed level 2, which means you are already better than most majority of the chess players in the world. Okay, because 50% of the people will be at a level 1 most of the time, and then some more at a level 2. So you have reached level 3, means probably already you are in the top 30% of all the chess players in the world, right? But it will keep getting tougher as you keep going up and up, right? So you should always have the aim of being the best, but at the same time be pragmatic and realist. Okay, a lot of hard work and lot of talent is also required as you go. So all right, so I think so that is a brief. And so what we will do is, in fact, I will request all of you to put on your videos for 5 minutes, because let everybody see each other as you keep introducing, and I will ask you to introduce yourself in 1 minute or maybe 30 seconds also. You can just tell about your name, your age, your city, right, and which standard you study in, and that is enough. I think that you can do it in 15-20 seconds. One by one I will ask everyone to do that. Okay, so that we will know. So, and everyone needs to see who is there. People, normally you will have some your display picture will be some logo, this, that, etc., but it is always good to see a person once. So at the beginning, yes, okay, I can see Pranav, Sai Pranav, I can see Jayant. Good. So I will be going around. Okay, in order I will tell, and you can see if you have the Zoom right now. You may want to put it in grid mode or list mode, but whichever way, it's okay. I will put it in grid mode for now so that I can see everybody. Then we will start. Okay, I can see right now 6 people. Okay, more. Okay, good. I think. Okay. All right. So let me start in the manner that it is appearing on my screen. So I will start. Okay, Ansh, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Ansh. I'm 9 years old and I'm in 4th grade. I live in Fremont, US, and I go to Stratford School.
Go to which school?
Stratford School.
Okay, Stratford School. So he is in California, Fremont, California. So it is West Coast. So for he is the one who is the maximum behind our time from India. So I think it is what time it is for you right now?
Wait, it is
8:30? No.
It's 8:30.
8:30. Okay, 8:30 in the morning. All right. Okay, thanks. So you have seen Ansh. I think all of you have played Ansh. So now he's Ansh. Okay. All right. Then I will go to Srushti. Srushti.
My name is Srushti Shenvi.
Yes.
I am 10 years old.
Okay.
I study in HJ Almeida High School.
Almeida High School. Okay, that is same high school that I went to. Good. All right.
I'm
Okay.
standard 5th.
Okay. And you stay in Fonda, Goa, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So that is Srushti. Okay. Sai Pranav next.
My name is Sai Pranav. I'm 11 years old. I'm in
Okay.
standard 5. I like drawing and robotics.
Okay.
And I live in Goa.
Cool. All right. And folks, Sai Pranav also takes classes on robotics, huh? Not just attends, he takes classes on robotics for kids. And he has entered into and won many competitions. He also codes. He has, I think, probably made 3 or 4 different Android apps already, I think. Okay. So he's a very, I mean, he writes some articles in newspapers also in Goa. So he's a fun person to know. And apart from chess, he does a lot of other things. So good. So thanks, Sai Pranav. Okay. Okay, who have joined afterwards and not yet put the screen. So I'm requesting everyone to put on your video stream for 5 minutes so that everyone gets an introduction, and then you can go back. Okay, then when we start the class, then you can put off the video and you can just watch me. So okay, Ahan and Abhinav, you are yet to put your video on. Okay, Jayant, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jayant Apte. I'm 18 years old. I live in Goa, and I'm very much interested in chess nowadays. So looking forward to learn much tips and tricks from you. And I just completed 12th, and my admissions are not started yet for engineering.
All right, cool. So Jayant is my nephew. He stays in Mapsa. Okay, and Jayant runs a very popular video channel. Okay, Techie Jayant. So if you want to know about whatever the latest things that is happening, all the gadgets or whatever is happening, I think you may want to just subscribe to his channel and check out. Like I think as soon as iOS event happened, I think he put out 2-3 videos giving you in summary what is the key features in iOS 14, what is the iStore about in India, everything basically you can see every day or every second day he will be putting a video. Okay, so Techie Jayant. Okay, so he's also helping me in some of my putting out on whatever Facebook groups page or Instagram, etc. He's helping me. Okay, good. So thanks, Jayant. Okay, let's go to Madhura.
Hello, I'm Madhura. I am 12 years old and I study in St. Arnold Central School. I live in Pune and I like painting, chess, and yeah, I'm also interested in sports, athletics.
Cool. And which standard do you study in? Which class?
8th.
8th. 8th, huh? Okay. Isn't that early for 12 years?
Huh?
Isn't that early? In 12 years, you are in 8th standard, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I have my birthday is in November, so I'll be 13 in November.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So, okay. Thanks, Madhura. And let's go to Arohi.
Hi, I am Arohi Joshi. I also live in Pune. I am 19 years old and I'm studying engineering, ENTC.
Which year?
Second year.
Second year. Good, good, good. So,
Yes.
okay. So you are the senior most member in the class, probably. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Arohi. Okay, Ahan.
Hello all, my name is Ahan. I'm 12 years old. I'm in 7th grade. I live in Bangalore only. I live in
Okay.
Bangalore. My favorite things are chess and football.
Okay. So you play the Electronic Arts football game, FIFA game you play?
FIFA 21.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good. And Ahan is almost like my neighbor. Okay. Very close. We are maybe 2 kilometers apart. Okay. So, and his dad is my colleague at office. So I know him very well. So good. Thanks, Ahan. Okay. Let's go to Arin.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm in 10th grade, and I live in Connecticut, U.S., apart 60 miles east of New York City, and I study in Hopkins School. And apart from chess, my favorite subjects in school are math and science as well,
Okay.
especially
Cool.
physics.
Cool. 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 Good. 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 Very nice. And you are in which standard you said? Which class?
So 10th.
10th. Okay. Okay. All right, good. So let me see. We have done Ansh, Sai Pranav, Jayant, Madhura, Arohi, Arin, Ahan. Okay, so now I think it is Nandan, huh? Nandan Dandekar. Though his
My name
display
is
name is
Nandan Dandekar and I am from Mitchell in Goa. I study in Sri Shantadurga High School and I am in 7th standard.
7th standard. Okay, cool. Very nice. Thanks. Okay, now we go to the two folks, Pranav and Siddhant, brothers. Okay, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Siddhant. I'm from 4th grade, DPRIS. Apart from chess, my favorite things are badminton. That's it.
Okay, all right. And your brother?
Hi, my name is Pranav. I'm 8th grade and I'm 13 years old. I study in DePaul International School and I live in Mysore, Karnataka. And I like to see movies and play chess and play badminton.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, so there are few new folks who are not there in our L1 or L2 class and who have joined. One of them is my nephew, Jayant. You have seen his introduction. Then we saw Nandan. We saw just now his introduction. And these are the two brothers, Pranav and Siddhant from Mysore. So they are also joining. So I kind of gave them the L2 test. So all of them, Nandan also solved the L2 test very easily. Then Pranav and Siddhant also solved it and Jayant also solved it. So I invited them to join the level 3 class. Okay, let me see if somebody is still waiting room. Okay, I had Ramnath. Okay. All right. Okay, so fine. Then let us go to Akshay.
Hi all, I'm Akshay Sujesh. I'm in 9th grade. I study in National Public School. My hobbies are playing basketball and chess.
Cool. And you are in Bangalore, you have to tell everybody.
Yeah, I'm in Bangalore.
Okay, all right. Thanks. And Ashish?
Hi all, I'm Ashish Sujesh. I study in National Public School, Indiranagar. I live in Bangalore and my favorite hobbies are chess, art and basketball.
So both of you, so they are twins, huh? Ashish and Akshay are twins. So yeah, I mean, do you play basketball also together? I think I'm sure you are, or different teams?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We play against each other or 1v1.
Okay, all right. Good, good, good. Thanks. Okay, so Ramnath, I think you can turn on your video. We want to just see everyone and introduce themselves. So that is the idea. So you can turn on your video for a minute and then once your introduction is over, then we'll go back. So you are on mute, I think, Ramnath. Okay, okay, now I can see you. Yes, go ahead and introduce yourself. Briefly, your name, age, which place you are in, what school you go to, and which class you study.
I'm Ramnath Prashant Sandbag. I'm 11 years old and study in Carmel School, Bangalore. And my hobbies are doing drawing, um, uh, uh, like to play cricket, and always study.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ramnath. Okay, so I think we are done. Is anybody left who has yet to introduce? I don't think so. I don't see on the screen, but just in case I have missed anybody, please raise your hand. Or I don't think so. I think we covered everybody, right? Excellent. So cool. So now we can go back. You may turn off your video if you want. It is up to you. I'm going to be anyway putting my just going to be pinning my video so that I have to share the screen. Who else is joined? Abhinav. Oh, we have left. Abhinav got missed out, and I mean I think he got dropped out. So we have to see his introduction. Okay. Abhinav, please turn on your video for a minute and introduce yourself. And then again he dropped off. I think he's having network issues or what? Probably.
Sir, is there live chess today?
No, there is no live chess today. Live chess was on Wednesday and Saturday. I'm going to ask you if you folks want, I can set it up on Sunday also. But don't get compelled into thinking that you need to attend all the 3 practice games. It is up to you. In fact, because we have a global class, sometimes times do not exactly align, etc. So I may create an additional thing, but it is up to you. Don't overplay if you don't want to, or in case it is you have other things to do, including studies, etc. I am expecting that about 2 hours of practice games every week is enough. Beyond that, it is up to you. So, but I'm setting up, if you notice, I'm setting up these practice arenas now for 90 minutes. But that is considering that there are people from India, US, some want to go to bed early, some have to wake up early, etc. Just to make that, I have made it 90 minutes, but it is up to you. You can play for 60 minutes. You know how to pause, right? And live chess. In the arena, you can always pause yourself and you can do that. So it is up to you. It is not mandatory that everybody should play 90 minutes or for the full duration. It is up to you. Or 2 days out of 3 you can play. That is all up to you. Okay, so it is flexible. Okay, I think I am having, okay, there are 2 more people who are joining late. Okay, Abhinav, first of all, Abhinav, are you there or again you got dropped off? I don't see you. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 plus 3, 15. I still see 15 only. 15 only are there. Okay, again, Abhinav is keeps getting disconnected. Okay, Om, we are doing intro. So why don't you turn on your video stream for a minute, introduce yourself to everybody, and then you can turn it off. Right now you're on mute, so we can't hear you. I have not muted, so you can unmute also and talk.
So, 1 second, I'll just do it.
Okay, meanwhile, Abhinav, same thing to you. You can, again gone, Abhinav.
Sir, he has network issue.
Yeah, he has network issue, right? Okay. Okay, that's okay. I think anyway, you guys know Abhinav, so maybe next class we'll do it. Om, so if you are able to get your video stream, then it's okay. Otherwise, you and Abhinav, we will get it you in the next week intro.
So is there anybody who hasn't joined today but is there in L3?
I want to go back and check in my list. Probably.
Because I think Uday 19 hasn't joined.
Uday has not joined. Yeah, that's right. He's your friend, right? What happened? Where is actually? Where does Uday stay? I thought he stayed in Goa, but you said no. Huh? Where does he stay?
He actually stays in Goa.
I thought in the chat he said, "Oh, not," or something like that. I think he was just bluffing, huh? Or what?
Yeah.
He stays in Panji only, huh? Or what?
Yeah, we have neighbors. We are very close friends.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, Om, we had just got your video for a bit. Yeah, we can see you now. So go ahead and introduce yourself briefly to everyone.
Yeah, my name is Om, and I've been in the Morpheus chess for since L1, and my name is Om, and
yes, go ahead. You got muted. I didn't mute it. Om, you have got muted. Or maybe you completed, huh? No, I don't think so. Okay, Abhinav, it is completely okay. You need not, if your internet connection is flaky, then don't try to, this one, it's okay. So fine. So Om is, again, yeah, he was there in L1, he was there in L2, now he's there in L3 and he stays in Dubai. He's also son of my school friend. So yes, so nice to have him from Dubai. Thanks. Okay, so I think we have completed the introductions. So now we can go back to our traditional view and I will share my screen now. Pin video. Okay, all right. All right, so let me share the screen. Not this. Okay, this. All right. So today, what we are going to learn today is about advanced chess notation. I think you already, all of you are familiar with the algebraic chess notation like E4, E5, NF3, NC6, etc. Right? So that you know already. But we are looking at some more advanced concepts of that. Plus, there is another alternative notation that all of you must be aware of if you are a serious chess player and you want to improve. Okay, so that being the case, so that is called as the descriptive notation. Okay, and it is, I'm going to talk about and differences. Okay, see, descriptive notation was originally very popular. In fact, algebraic notation became popular only in the 80s. Okay, it became 70s, it started, and 80s, 1980s it became more popular. But before that, almost all the chess books and chess articles were written in descriptive notation. And the descriptive notation is actually fairly easy to understand, but you have to just remember. Okay, so this is the chessboard, and like typically what we have, right? I mean, assume that actually, yeah, assume that the bottom side is the white, okay, and the top side is the black. That's how normally we show all the diagrams. So that is how it is. Let me start recording. Just 1 second. Oh, it is already recording. Okay, good, fine. So, so you know the queen side, right? Left side. If you are looking at it from the white side, which is at the bottom of the chessboard, that player is white. Then on his left is the queen side, and his right is the king side, right? Now, all the way that you name the squares are using the which side it is, right? King side or queen side, and then which what do you call, which the column is based on which piece is at the base of the column. For example, left side, if you see, it is called as QR1 because the way we call it as queen side rook 1. Okay, it is written in white because it is white's from white's view. That's why it is written in white font, QR1, and QR1 because it is queen side rook first row. Okay, then it is QR2. If you see the next one, it is QR2, QR3, QR4, like this, right? All the way up to QR8. Okay, only thing is that each square has got a different what you call tag based on whether white is looking at it or black is looking at it. So what is QR8 for white, which is our, in algebraic notation, we call it as A8, right? Leftmost column or file, and the last row is A8. It is called as QR8 from the white side, but when black looks at it and black writes the move, it will be put, I mean, the square will be called as QR1 because from his side, again, it is on the queen side, it is the rook file, but it is the first row because his first row starts from that side, and his 8th row is where white's first row is there, right? If you get this, then everything else is simple. So if you see, it is queen rook file is the leftmost side going from 1 to 8, both directions. Next one is queen side knight. N is for knight, you know the symbol. So QN going from 1 all the way up to 8, QN1 to QN8, which is our B file, B1 to B8. Okay, that in here it is called as QN1 to QN8. Okay, then the next file is the C file, what we call it in algebraic. It is queen side bishop 1 to queen side bishop 8. Okay, then it is D file is Q1 to Q8. E file is K1, King 1 to King 8. Right. So now you know the king side. It is all KB1 to KB8, K knight 1 to K knight 8, K rook 1 to K rook 8. Okay. Anyone has any doubts about this? It is fairly easy to, in fact, it is more descriptive. That's why actually it takes more letters. Okay. But because it crams more information. So you know it is like KB4 in algebraic notation. You have to really, if you are really good at it, then you will be able to visualize it. Okay, but here without visualizing also you can actually find out KB4. The moment you say KB4, you know, oh, it is a king side, bishop's file and fourth row. So you know that either it is going to be where, I mean, you can think of it in front of your eyes. It is much easier to visualize, right? Because there is much more information given. KR7, then you know it is either H7 or H2, depending on which player is playing it. But king side rook, 7th rank, right? So that is how it is written. Okay. And it is there in the handout. You can see it. But key point is that each square has a different thing. Okay. Pranav or Siddhant have raised the hand. So if you have any question, you can please talk it out.
Sir, but how will we refer the pawn movements?
Okay, I'll tell. It is written as, I'll show you that there is an example down in the PDF. So I'll show you. First, we will just look at the squares identification. Once we have identified the squares, then it is almost very easy to see what is the thing. Okay, in the way that you write in algebraic notation, like which is the piece, which is either bishop to C4, BC4, or knight to G5, NG5. That's how you write it. Now, there are two parts to that. One is which is the piece that is moving, which is like a bishop or a knight or whatever, queen, rook, king, etc. And which is the square that it is landing on. That is mostly what you write in algebraic notation, right? E4. E4 means there is no letter. That means it is pawn which is moving and going to E4 square, right? Now, in algebraic, in descriptive notation, there the funda is, you tell what is the piece and again you tell what is the square that it is going to. It is very exactly similar. The square is only identified in the descriptive way, and pawns are always written as P in descriptive notation. So if you see the here, say I've given an example, and the same thing in algebraic notation also. So bottom is the algebraic notation. First move is E4, E5. You know this move, standard king's pawn opening. How it is written in English descriptive notation, P to K4, because pawn is moving to fourth row of king 5, right? So P to K4, and black is also playing his pawn to the fourth rank from his side. Okay, so that is the difference, because though he plays to E5, but in this time, because it is relative, so PK4, PK4, that is the king side opening. Okay, you got it, Pranav, Siddhant?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next moves, knight F3, knight C6, that is written as NKB3. Knight is going to king side bishop 3, that is the normal square of the knight, and black is playing his queen side knight to the bishop 3 square. So N going to QB3. Okay, so it's fairly easy to understand. In fact, it is much more easier to understand and visualize. Okay, but it takes more space. If you see, the amount of letters that are required to describe a move are lesser in case of the algebraic notation and more in case of the descriptive notation, right? But so I have given, so this, you can look at this as an exercise at homework. You can just see, you can just make sure that go through this first, all this game, and as you are going through the algebraic notation, every move just check it out whether it is correct or not as per the descriptive notation, because both of them you have got side by side, exact same game. Okay, so fairly easy. I think if you do it once or twice, you will be able to get it. And why we should do it now, you will ask, why is it that now we have a modern system, then why we need to know the old system, right? So there are many books already written, hundreds or maybe thousands of books already written, which are in the older notation. Now, if you want to read them, if you want to take advantage of them, learn from them, then you need to know this notation, right? There are many classical world champions, etc. They had also written in this many articles, many old all of that is written in in this language, right? So you need to know this thing. That's why we learned it. We learned it, the simple notation, we learned it in level 1, basic. Then we learned slightly more more descriptive in, not descriptive notation, but more advanced in level 2. And now in level 3, we need to know all the types of notations. Okay. So there is one more, there are more symbols. These are to be known. See, these may not be required in level 1 or level 2, mostly because you want to only write a move and you just want to record the moves, what happened. But there are much more information about actually, was it a good move? What is a bad move? Is it a mistake? It is a blunder. So a lot of things. What was the idea behind this move? Who has the advantage? So a lot of these things. So there are actually, the chess people have created their own language. Okay, so we will part of it we'll learn it now, and part of it in the next week session. But here is a table. Okay, so these are the symbols that are used for denoting what is the thing. So plus, and below the plus sign, equality, which means intuitively you can say that it is almost equal but slightly plus, and plus is higher. I mean, plus is on the top. So that shows that white is slightly better in this position. So somewhere down the line, I mean, there will be some moves will be given. After that, it will be written in books like it is plus equal to. Plus equal to means white has got a slight advantage, which is typical in all, because white starts playing. So it is expected that any opening, if he plays correctly, he will have a slight advantage, very slight advantage. Okay, so that is the thing. But sometimes due to some, you make some inaccuracies, etc., it might be black, maybe. So if there is a complete equal sign is there, then it is equality. That means black has also equalized. There is no advantage for white having played it. In fact, the other way around can go, and it might happen that equal to and below that plus sign, that means black is slightly better. Okay, so here that means white must have made some mistake in by this time, because black has actually become better. Okay, so but that is the way to denote it. Slight advantage is written as equal to with a plus sign, either above or below. Okay, now there is another sign called as plus, and below that there is a minus sign. Okay, so one side is plus and the other side is minus, which, but above and below each other. Okay, so that symbol is known for white has the upper hand, definitely not slight. White has got a definite advantage in this case. Or if you see this symbol the reverse way or reverse order, then black definitely has the upper hand, means advantage, right? So there was a slight advantage, there was a definite advantage. So you know what is the pattern. So if it is written as plus and next to it the sign is minus here, like what we see here, that indicates that white has a winning advantage. Okay, winning advantage means by now you must be knowing that, okay, let us say you have some position where you are one knight up apart from the other. Now I'm expecting any L3 player or any player in the L3 class to really win that game, because you know what is the technique. You can exchange off everything, and in the end game, using your extra piece, you can easily queen your pawn. And once queening the pawn, then you will be able to checkmate very, very easily, right? It is a technique. It is a technique. You don't have to do any complications. You can very easily just win it, right? So that is called as the winning advantage. It doesn't mean that white has won. Okay, you still have to play it. If you don't know the techniques, you may lose also. That may also happen, or you may have some blunder. But as it is, if you play without any major mistakes, then you should be winning. That's what it meaning of this one. And the reverse order means black is winning. Okay, so this is how the notation. And then there are much more. So there is this infinite symbol means unclear position. You don't know who is better. Even the grandmasters are finding it difficult, because a lot more games need to be played in that position to understand who is better or not. The square symbol denotes only move. Sometimes you don't really have any option. I mean, theoretically, all options are bad. Only one decent option, maybe to save something or whatever it is. So that is called as the only move. Okay. Then the triangle is like it's like with the idea. You will see some examples of it next week. Okay. So there are more symbols like this. Okay. Development advantage, space advantage, time advantage. We will see what is the time advantage. We have a lecture on that in this class, or each of these, what it means to be a development advantage. What does it mean to be a space advantage? What does it mean to have a time on your side, initiative we call it, right? We'll learn all of these things with examples, but right now just understand the notation part of it. Okay. Then say, so if you have seen the Lichess analysis of your own games, you will know all of these things. It classifies your mistakes into 3 categories. Mild mistakes are called as inaccuracy, denoted by question mark followed by exclamation mark. Okay. Then somewhat more serious mistakes are just given with a question mark. Question mark means it is a bad move. Okay. And double question mark means it's a blunder. You might be hanging your queen, or you might be just losing your knight or a bishop or a rook, or you may be just running into a checkmate when there are other options possible. So those are all blunders which result in a winning advantage to the other side. Okay, that is the definition of blunder. One, if that after that move, if the other side just grabs it and gets into a winning advantage, then that move is a blunder. Okay. Then on the other side, these are about bad moves, but about on the other side, on the good moves also, you have seen the Lichess how it gives interesting move or a decent move it will call, and then exclamation mark with a question mark is an interesting move, worth thinking, worth pondering on. Direct exclamation mark means it is a good move. It's a good move that you have made it. And a double question mark means it's a brilliant move, which can probably 95% people would not have thought about it, but you have thought something special, and in that position it is a brilliant move, not obvious, nothing this one, but you have found it. So that would be a brilliant move. Okay. Then you know about Zugzwang. There is no option. I mean, there are options, but you cannot pass your move, and any move you make is going to deteriorate your position, right? That is what is called as Zugzwang. We had learned about it in the level 2 class, right? That is how it is denoted. Then there are some more symbols with initiative, with attack, with counterplay. With counterplay means, okay, both sides have some play. It is not that just one side is always defending, the other side is always attacking. That is not the thing. Counterplay means, okay, on one side maybe you can attack, on the other side also has chances of attacking. So there is enough imbalance is there, and it is then there are things for file, diagonal, king side. King side, you can just note it. From white side, if you are seeing on the right side, it is king side, hence the symbol is this, and the other symbol is on the queen side, right? So this is how it is the world of chess notation. There is more on the second page, which I will cover it in the next class, next section. You can read it. But yeah, so I think that is what was on chess notation. So we are almost about to end the class, but if you have one question, if anyone wants to ask, you can ask. Otherwise, you can ask on WhatsApp. So let me see if there is a chat. No, I don't have anything on the chat. Any questions? Anybody has any doubts? Or everything was clear? I have already sent out the PDF on the WhatsApp group. Yes, am I hearing somebody? If it is clear, then also just confirm saying that yes, it is clear, so that I know.
So clear.
Okay, cool.
Clear.
All right, good. So
why do we need to learn how to write in this?
What is that?
Why do we need to learn how to write in this?
Yeah, no, you don't need to write into this, but you need to read this, because if you want to listen, read some older books which are already published in this, then you need to learn. So I'm not asking you to write in this fashion, but you just need to read. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Maybe just for practice, you might have to write, but after that, I will not ask you to write this. You can write in the new notation. Okay. Cool. Yes, I have already sent it on Pranav. I have already sent it on WhatsApp, so it is already there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So thanks. It was a good short class, and we will meet again next Sunday. Okay. I'm going to end the Zoom class now. Okay. Bye-bye.